Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations. I'm Steve, and today we are finally getting started on the Cub Cadet roller project. I know, it seems like I've already had 3 or 4 videos about this project. We're actually gonna start turning some wrenches today. So I gotta get this area cleaned up, give myself a good area to work in, and we'll get right into it. Well, this is the last time we're gonna see the number 72 Cub Cadet in its garden tractor form, with its sister tractor, the Kubota Cadet. Even got a Cub Cadet leaf sucker upper. They make some pretty good stuff. Anyway, that's it. Let's get her stripped down. And for good content, well, we might as well back it into its final resting area. And hopefully one day, it'll be a roller backing out that way. Well, there she is. Let's take it all apart. And I'll save y'all the agony of the typical cliche YouTube hyperspeed time-lapse video of me taking this thing apart in record time because, well, I'm just not really in a rush to take it apart. So I'm gonna enjoy this nice cold November day and take it apart at my leisure off camera and save valuable time for you as a viewer as well. So enjoy this next 2 seconds, and I'll see you when this is apart. Oh man, well, that was a Cub Cadet 72. Found a nice little mouse house in there, sitting up on top of the transmission. I left this kind of together for right now because I want to do kind of a quick little mock-up. Front axle, I didn't even bother taking the tires off because that thing is just all getting put in the trash. Console, that's getting moved to the new front, which was the old back. But I forgot I've got this bracket on here for the clutch, so I'm gonna have to make something for that. Grills off, hoods off, engines out, steering shaft, seat, yeah, it's all here. Believe it or not, that is a complete Cub Cadet 72 tore apart on the ground. So I'm down to the bare frame. Literally took everything off of here with the exception of there's this little clamp still in the back here for the mule drive for the mower, but yeah, other than that, it's bare frame. Gonna get some modifications done. Not sure what I'm going to do back here yet. This is where the axle went through, and again, that mule drive. I don't need any of that for this new build, but you know, I cut all these welds off on the Kubota Cadet to move the axle forward, and it came off pretty easy, but it acts as some, I don't know, rigidity to the frame back there. So I think I might just leave that. Honestly, I might even put a pin through here with a hook hanging down for tying it down on the trailer or something, but getting way ahead of myself talking about tying this thing down on the trailer when it looks like this. So yeah, anyway, well, give me a second. I want to kind of mock this up and see if maybe I can like set this up on blocks to kind of look like where I'm going with this roller thing. But that was the goal for today, to get this thing tore apart, and we successfully did that. So alright, let's see if I can mock this up to kind of give you an idea of what we're going for. I don't know about y'all, that looks cool. So, alright, you gotta put on your imagination hat again. Okay, this isn't exactly what it's gonna look like, but this is pretty close. Alright, so the obviously the transmission isn't going to be this far back, but I'm taking into consideration when the transmission's back here where I want it to be, and I put the lowboy 154, 185, whatever they are, final drives to kick these rear wheels further towards the back. This is about where it's going to be. So obviously the engine will be in there also. And you know, I had talked about how I was going to take the ring gear out of the differential and put it from the right hand side to the left hand side, and that would change my, all right, let's look at it here, my 3 speeds that direction to 3 speeds that direction. However, I didn't think about putting final drives on here, and those final drives are gear driven. So when the output of the differential, let's just say, turns this way, I guess that'd be counterclockwise for you looking at it, it's gonna in turn make the bull gear turn the opposite way, counterclockwise, right? Because one gear makes another gear turn the other way. So I don't think I need to change the ring gear and the differential. That's something I can deal with later. We can play around with it. I'm really not too concerned with it. But I think I'd be, if I flipped it now, and then I put the final drive on, I'd be back to having 3 gears that way again, and I don't want that. So I could be wrong in that. I got to do some more thinking, but I don't think I need to switch the ring gear. I think the final drive is going to reverse those gears for me. So I have seen guys do high crop Cub Cadets, and they put the final drive on there, and to prevent having to move that ring gear over, they took all the internals out of the final drives and basically had a chain drive. So it was a gear with a chain from the output of the differential to the drive axle, if you will. So it's like a bike chain. So, but that's turning the same direction. All right, so that's what we're looking at. So with the final drives, I think the wheel should be around that area. Ultimately, I wanted it kind of more centered in the hood back here, but it's okay. I like how it kind of hangs over on the back. I can live with that. Obviously, the engine's going to be in there. I think I'm going to cut this hood. I'm not doing any of this now because there's still so many unknowns, but I think I can probably take about 7 or 8 inches off the hood here. That'll allow me to push my seat back some more, because you know the clutch is right here, and this area is where the old console was, and that's not going to be there anymore. The only thing I do need to do is put that bracket, remember I showed you up here with the clutch pivots off of, so not a big deal. I'll make a frame with a bracket. I need to have some kind of wall or divider here anyway. So, but yeah, I think I can get the seat to go back about 8 inches, and that should be about right. I'm saving the foot pegs because, as you know, I want to make this look as close to what Cub Cadet would have put out, and I'm going to put the foot pegs, or the foot, I don't know, whatever they're called, platforms, you know, the foot rests. These things where you put your feet on right there. Yeah, so those, instead of being angled this way, how they were on the tractor, they'll be angled this way, and you can put your feet on there. This console is going to change a bit. I do want to kind of retain this because, again, it's a Cub Cadet console. I don't really need to have the battery up here. There's enough room back there, kind of where I put the diesel tank up in that front corner on the Kubota Cadet. So really we could kind of trim this down and move that even further out. So again, that's something I can play around with that, because I'm going to have to add more onto this end anyway for the hinge pivot point for the articulation. So yeah, the roller, obviously the roller is going to remain the same, and like I mentioned in the other video, this little chintzy frame here, I mean, that's just for pushing it around your yard. That is not going to hold up for any of this. So we're going to build a nice steel 2x3 tubular subframe for it, I guess, if you will, and that'll kind of get us where we want to be. Obviously, at this articulation point, I can mount the hydraulic cylinders. I might even be able to do them inside. We'll see. I think so. At this articulation point, let me put this up here so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So let's say on the tractor side, I might have 3 plates, and then on the roller side there might be 2 plates, and they'll basically kind of dovetail together, and that's going to give me the, I don't know, the strength I think that we need, and there'll be a pin obviously to drive through to pivot on, but it's the only way I can think of to kind of give me some structure to keep it from bending, you know, because let's face it, I'm gonna be sitting up here and I ain't no light little boy, so I need something with some strength. So I think like 3 and 2 should be enough with the pin going through, you know, and I'll probably use some 1/2 inch plate. Might not even need to be that thick, because, well, the frame's not even that thick. But anyway, there is a section in the front that's going to have to get kind of modified to accept the articulation part, and that will also give me room to move this console forward a little more as well. So again, I want some kind of steering wheel hooked up to a valve to work the articulation. So I don't know, that's kind of a very rough estimate of what I want this thing to look like. I know it's crazy. I got some deck board over there and a 2x4, and everything's kind of just holding in place by 1 or 2 bolts. Like I could blow in this thing and then fall over. But I don't know, I think we're on to something. I think this is going to work. And obviously it's not going to be this tall. You know, I know it might be kind of hard to gauge perspective with this thing right now, but the frame is definitely going to sit down, oh geez, I'd say a good 5 or 6 more inches. You know, there's little, on the front of the transmission here, these little ears that stick out that bolt into the frame. So I guess you're probably looking at about 4 inches. But obviously it wasn't made to be in this section because there's an engine here. And in fact, it is still going to be back here behind where the clutch is. So I'm going to have to cut some notches for the ears and, you know, modify it a little bit. But I think it'll be pretty cool view from behind. I mean, man, that's just going to be sweet. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully this will help give you all a little better idea of what we're looking at here. And, you know, I know it's rough right now, but you know, just picture this done, sitting lower, engine in, you know, some nice steering area, you know, all painted up. You know, I think it still meets the goal that I was looking to do with, you know, retaining the Cub Cadet look, the trademark look, if you will. You know, the hood, the grille, the seat, the console, the wheels. And that's my end goal, is to make something cool, something different that no one's ever seen before, and that looks like it could have possibly been sold at an International Harvester dealership in the 70s. So anyway, that's it. I know it's early in this project, but if you can think of a cool name for this thing, I'd appreciate it. I don't know. I've been thinking. I have no idea. You know, obviously the diesel Kubota Cadet because of the Kubota engine. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this one. You know, International Harvester at one point bought out Huff. They did payloaders and stuff, and they had that name as Payloader. And then International Harvester in their construction line made other equipment. Pay Scraper for the scraper tractors. Pay Hauler, that was the heavy duty construction dump trucks that they made. And I looked it up, and I have not ever seen one. I couldn't find one on the internet. Not to say they didn't make it, but I was thinking Pay Roller, you know, because it still kind of fits in with the paying homage to International Harvester and that line of construction equipment. And those construction vehicles that they had were the same paint scheme, the yellow and I think it's called Harvest Yellow and whatever the white is. But anyway, I think that's going to do it. I'm starting to ramble. But that's the very primitive, basic idea of what I'm looking to do with this. We'll call it the Pay Roller for right now. I don't know. If you can think of something else, let me know in the comments. We'll see you in the next one.